Oh my God.
Check, check. Hey, can everybody hear me? Discord. Survivors.
I don't have to request to speak.
Survivors, can you hear me? We're knocking on the door right now. Hey, you
Here we
guys
go.
survived the apocalypse?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Rav, we got you. Did you
Oh,
survive, bud?
yeah, I think I survived, dude. But every time I do a community meeting, it's really iffy if I've survived or not because my audio never works. I don't understand. I really don't.
I was going to say, dude, you survived a lot longer than I have because this is literally like the first actual ever in the year's community meeting. So we're already doing something right.
That's awesome. Listen, man,
First thing.
I'm glad I can up your PR game a little bit. Okay.
It's a lot more than that. And these dudes are about to find out. Yeah, man. First of all, Rav, this is appreciate everything from the conversations we had when I flew out there and I saw you in Texas, to the wisdom, to the guidance, to giving a second life. So obviously your team, yourself, loaded, everybody. I think this is what the community needed, and we got to give a big kudos to you. So everybody in chat, let's get some claps in chat for Rav, dude, because this is insane. This is insane, dude. I can't believe it's happening.
I'm pumped for this, to be honest. So I think before everyone asks a bunch of questions on a lot of the things you just said, how about we get into the presentation um and let's just do this. Let's just do this thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream and show it in Discord, but I guess we'll see. Oh, it's working for once. We'll see how long that works. Okay, yeah. So you can look at it, Haas. There you go.
Yeah, I
We
want to
can
see like
do.
a
I was
after
doubtful. Okay. How about you take it away from right here, like we talked about? I'm right here, buddy. I got you.
Yep, just guide me through this. Hold my hand because we're going to survive this together. All right, so kind of the context of everything that we're gathering today is getting ready, guys. Obviously, to launch the World's End again, but in a fresh, new, exciting way. But there's a few things that definitely need to be addressed prior to getting into all the exciting stuff that we're all waiting for, because a lot of you have been sitting around for years. Rav, it's literally looking at this. It's been years. I think it's been what, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years since this is rolled back out. So we're starting off. Here we go. Rule number 22. When in doubt, know your way out. The lights went out, the world paused, but the community didn't. This is going to be interpreted in so many different ways, and like we've always been within this community, is open and honest on why things happened the way they happened, but also the things that did happen set us up to this point now. So we could be mad at it, we can be upset at it, we can stress about it, but we found our way back. So Rav, if you want to hit that next one, I think we can kind of button through this. So this is kind of where we start off. The bounty paper towels. We're sorry we made a mess with how we closed. So a lot of you guys that stuck around forever, a lot of things happened, a lot of messages, obviously the Discord, people questioning and leaving, and we're just going to be roll it on out. We're just going to throw it out there. So let's just start off with this. We didn't mean to leave you guys hanging. Every time we thought we figured it out, we hit another roadblock. And we mentioned this in Discord multiple times, guys, like, hey, we're coming. Get ready for season 2. Get ready. And what was happening was I was basically rallying up the troops, right? Our early teams of developers and staff, and trying to get everything and everybody together to relaunch the World's End. Now, that kind of leads us into a point of, when we first started this was just a project that was an idea that turned into something well above what ever anticipated or expected. It really accelerated so fast with the amount of players that we had, the amount of tickets, the amount of responses to things in game, to the development side, to every step of the way. We were just trying to prepare to get this thing launched. So what I would try to do is rally the troops. Hey, you guys ready for this? And then real life happened as well. For you guys to know that everybody that pretty much worked on this project was this was just fun. You know what I mean? We never really intended it for it to happen this way and get this big, but the server never really sustained itself to the point to where we can actually pay developers full time, pay the map workers full time, you know, which is like Rally and Jesse and all those guys. It was literally all volunteered, and the money that I had, I just poured every ounce of dollars I had into this. And every time we got close to pulling the triggers on it, it would just slip through. You know, real life would kick back in, everybody would get busy, real life. So this was never looked at as a real-time job. And unfortunately, the player base kind of suffered from that a little bit. Actually, a lot of it. I'm just going to be honest. Suffered a lot of it because it wasn't a full-time deal. And that is what happened. You know, we didn't have a consistent full-time development team, staff team, any of that. So that is something, when you run a server at this scale, at this size, that is something that is literally required to keep this thing sustainable and running properly. What's up, Ipsilon? You know, we never expected to be so big. The project became bigger than we could manage, and that's where things happened. The community staff became a revolving wheel. What that basically means, if we were to sum this up, you know, we had a handful of people, and they're in chat right now. You guys, all the OG knows who's in chat right now. You guys all see these people. Like I said, Ip and all these guys. It got to a point where we received so many tickets and development ideas that the small staff that we had we were boat anchored. We were bogged down just because we couldn't onboard enough people to take it full time. So as you guys can imagine, you guys all seen this. I'm sure you guys put in tickets. I'm sure you guys put in responses and messages, and a lot of them got back, but a majority of them were just sitting stagnant as we were trying to juggle the million other things. Early on in the World's End, you guys probably remember the amount of DDoS attacks we've got, server changes, multiple server changes. I think we almost did like 12 to 15 server changes during the time, because as the server got bigger, obviously the threats got bigger, which was DDoS protections, trying to find a way to protect the server so people aren't getting disconnected. We were trying to give you guys a stable place to role play, create content for your community, and we got to a point where the DDoS protection just wasn't ever where it should have been. And not only did that sacrifice the role play, all you large content creators, or any content creators in general, suffered through it because we would get disconnected. So all that stuff was, you know, self-funded. And for you guys that don't know, this was one of my first times running a server. Let's just say it's not cheap by any means. And I learned my lesson, but I was willing to throw everything at this, everything that I had, to make sure that we all had a place to role play in the apocalyptic world. So it sounds like a lot. This was just things that were happening that you guys didn't really see or know about, but it was stuff that we were juggling in between real lives, full-time jobs, wives, marriages, kids, all that. And especially when things like that get going, it's like, okay, well, this is not a full-time job. How do we mitigate it? How do we manage it? So it kind of led to this point. And as you notice on the bottom of the slide there, it said, I also had zero experience in networking with DDoS, and this was our very first server. So you guys can imagine, we're learning at the largest scale. Our player base was massive. The community was the best. And here we are, literally learning. So this is something that I wanted to address publicly. Obviously Ravage here, being the wizard that he is, was like, hey dude, let's roll it out. So I said, screw it, let's roll it out. And so this is what happened, guys. This is why the server took a hiatus, and we always struggle to bring it back. Now, Rav, you can explain this a little bit.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't noticed yet, I set this slide up with a bunch of the Zombieland rules because first of all, I thought it was thematic, and second of all, I thought it was pretty funny. But rule number 8 in Zombieland is get a kick-ass partner. And back about a month ago, I drove on out to Houston to go and meet Haas, actually, because we had talked a little bit about the potential of doing something with this project, that because I knew Haas was interested in bringing the World's End back, and I knew that it had a lot of potential. I also know that there is a lot of want in the RP scene for like different experiences. We've seen so many cool things happen, like 80 servers, 90 servers, zombies, all of these types of things pick up in popularity for a good bit of time because people are looking for something different. They love the medium that GTA is for role play, but sometimes people like a thematic change. And I thought that it was the right time. So we talked about it up in Houston at Fuel Fest. It was pretty cool. Haas made me piss my pants as he chased another car in a drift twice. And we got chased to where the car was like 2 inches from the one we were driving. And then we decided to get into business because I didn't want him to kill me in the car on the second run, to be honest. So we just shook hands between the first and the second one because I didn't want to die. But essentially what Haas has done and what we've agreed to do here is the World's End has partnered with Loaded, which is the same partner that Prodigy has and in which I work at. I'm a senior director at Loaded. And myself, for those who don't know, I have a little bit of a, I guess you could call me maybe an OG, or at the very least, an unk. An unk in this space. Dude, at this point.
Solid. Unk is solid.
An unk in the RP space at this point. Some of you guys might remind me from, I've been at this since all the way back in RP First, which was at the dissolution of, I guess like the dissolution of popularity of State of Emergency. We picked up RP First, and that was pretty popular for a bit. And then NoPixel and Family came out, and then I did Twitch RP, and we did a ton of stuff there for years. Kept that community up for years and years and years. And then eventually we did Prodigy with Loaded. So I've been a part of a lot of different projects at this point with different RP styles, etc. And Loaded is one of the top gaming creator firms in the world, I would say. They're one of the most reputable firms out there. A lot of people know that name. They rep some big talent. Go look them up. I work with Loaded, and my position there now, I actually quit my job in AAA as a manager in a publishing department. And now I've taken a position with Loaded as a senior director of game platforms. And what does that mean? Basically means anything like modding or UGC or anything like that, I kind of am involved with. I'm interested in making experiences in video game ecosystems, essentially. So like Prodigy, or like what the World's End is doing, or, you know, maybe we do something fancy and maybe we do drifting in Roblox next, Haas, who knows? But everything like that basically is basically what my job entails. And I also am one of the driving forces behind Prodigy RP. And that is, I'd say, I think it's fair to say it's one of the most popular 5M creator servers. You know, it's definitely in the top 5 for sure, I would say, at this point. And we have a huge development team and a lot of people that are experts in 5M. So we have a lot of expertise on the team. So some people out there know Prodigy and are probably like, ew, stinky. Well, Prodigy's going to ruin the World's End. And I know some people are thinking about that because of the RP style. And what I can tell you is that one of the things with our approach that we're taking with these types of creator projects is we understand that different servers need different things, different audiences need different types of role play. And what I can tell you from the first start here is that the World's End will not just be treated as Prodigy. It needs to have its different admins, different allow list, and it's being treated as a completely different business. So for anyone who's worried about that, I first of all want to say that straight up, because this is the only way we're going to be able to do servers like this. Otherwise, we'll be cannibalizing the platforms that we have in front of us, whether that's the regular Prodigy RP server, Prodigy public servers, etc. That's not our goal here. We don't want to do that. The World's End, for me, it's very important, and for Haas, that it keeps its identity. And the creative vision is continuing with Haas. And I think that's really important, is because he was a big part of the soul of this community and driving it and what it is, right? So Haas has been doing a lot of the creative vision with the developers that we've assigned to this. And the World's End, we understand, needs to be much more rooted in pure role play, cinematic storytelling, and it's just due to the medium. It's so important. And I just want people to really understand that that's important for us, right? We understand Prodigy is much more fast paced, content based, and that's not always what's going to make the world's end. Uh, that's not what made the world's end the world's end, right? And I don't want people to mistake content for roleplay either, because those are, you know, when we talk about content based servers, we just mean things that go fast and looser, a little looser on the base tenets of structured, serious roleplay. So
Yeah, and
go ahead.
Rav, if I can just elaborate just on a little bit, just exactly what Rav was saying, and just to reiterate that this is a separate whitelist, separate community. There's still going to be two separate entities. It's just Loaded is the soul behind it. I'm staying over here with the creative directive, helping navigate the path of the server, but it's two different things. So you'll get a completely two different role playing experiences, and that's one thing that we talked about early on is we have to keep this separate. We have to keep what made Worlds End so special, keep the energy behind it, keep the solid role play behind it, and we're not going to get the traditional cops and robbers. And a lot of the structure has changed on Worlds Inside to make sure that we maintain what built the heart. So I just wanted to re-elaborate that. So I'm super excited that we're going down a path that this is not a modern day cops and robbers servers. We're getting back to the root of what made the Worlds End so special, and that's you guys and the role play around surviving in that era.
So what's this mean for the world's end? It means that they have a paid development team with budget. And I think that's a big thing, because you get consistency in terms of updates and in terms of what we're able to bring to this server in terms of like custom assets and bringing their world to life. Basically, everything you've come to love about the world's end, we're bringing to the Prodigy framework, empowering by that. And what does that mean exactly? What does a framework mean? Does it mean you're going to have endless hordes and you're going to be doing gang missions all day like on Prodigy? That's not what that means. The Prodigy framework is the bones, is the inventory, it's the UIs, those types of things that power and run smoothly, which are tried, tested, and true. Before the World's End was built on a public framework, which was QB Core, right? With QB Core inventory and some edits and stuff like that to the HUD. And now we're building this on the Prodigy base, which is really good because it's tried, tested, true. It's pretty smooth. Anyone who's used like the inventory, the third eyes, all of that type of thing. Are we going to change the look of it? Yes, we're going to be changing and making it fit the World's End, its styling, its theme, all of that stuff, right? Which is really important. Also, this is a lot easier to code things on our frameworks, right? Because we have developers that understand these frameworks and have used them. We've thought like big picture of like big grand RP systems that we want to make, and we don't have to go back and do piecemeal work every time we want to make a new feature, right? To change the framework to fit what we're trying to do. So yeah, we basically, what this brings is new UIs, improved crafting, and improved user experience, which I think is like really important. I think those are the things where I think everyone understood where the World's End kind of missed a little bit. Like it had so much heart and soul and passion, but I think from a bigger picture, like UX perspective, I think for a lot of people, it probably missed that piece, right? And it's something like it feels so much different going in and hitting the map and doing some of the things that you could do in the World's End, but with the new, refreshed, and good UI. It's pretty cool. I mean, Haas can speak for that because he was here, right?
Oh yeah, I can experiencing on both sides now, being on the Prodigy side and doing a lot of the some storytelling on Prodigy and experiencing kind of the framework and seeing a lot of this stuff actually roll out. Like Rav, I'm gonna be honest, going over there, I'm like, dude, what is this futuristic stuff that I can make a change without having to restart the server. I can build bases and craft certain areas without, making significant changes, and we can do it live in the server. And one example that I have is if all the OGs that play in Worlds, remember when you were creating a crew and it'd show like Steam IDs and, it's kind of like quality of life and role play immersiveness. It's like, these are all changes that we could literally make on the fly now, that if there's big problems, we can handle it rather than constantly doing server resets all the time. And I speak in this in a very, I tell Rav this all the time, I speak in a very potato type style where I'm not in the deep end in the trenches he is with this stuff, but just purely off experiencing, tinkering with both sides. From an admin, staff, developer side, It is absolutely life-changing, not only for the staff, but also for the players, because we can make things happen a lot faster. Hell of a lot faster. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we're just able to do stuff that we wouldn't be able, making crafting recipes on the side, making benches in, putting new items in, making new gameplay loops. So you can do all that all in the fly, and it really tailors to this type of environment.
Here, Rav, I'm gonna say something that's gonna get the community revved up,
Sure.
wild up. Is hey, chat, how about rope? You guys remember rope? Who in Discord has received rope? Rope and chains. There you go. So
What?
for something that you don't know, okay, Rav. So early on, we were trying to find a way to incorporate rope and chain so people can make 90% of the melee weapons. I would say 90% of our melee weapons didn't get rolled out because we didn't have a way to implement or find a way to roll in rope and chain. So literally the entire community that played in World's End made about 4 weapons because we didn't have 2 items that were in the game. So there you go. Rope and chains, guys. That might be in there. I'm not sure. We'll probably keep it out. What do you think?
Rope and chains.
Those are the
Okay,
2 things.
that's the type of community this is, huh? Okay, well, which brings us to our next point. Rule number 18, limber up. Things are about to get exciting. See, you were saying rope and chains and all this. When
Dude,
this is on the screen,
Erpers.
rule number
They're
18,
all
limber
Erpers.
up. That's when you're saying ropes and chains. Things are about to get exciting with what we have in store for you. Ropes and chains, Ravage. You want to tell me about ropes and chains? This is the clippable moment you've made for me, is this. For those who don't know, one of the things I have to keep saying on Prodigy RP is that this is not an ERP server, and it seems I'm going to have to say it here again. This is not an ERP server, at least I hope not.
Oh shoot, did I say World's End, dude? I thought we were taking over ERP's End. So we're doing ERP's End now, guys. So
Yeah.
ropes and chain with ERP.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so let's get into the development stuff, the exciting stuff. We're going to be doing a winter map. We'll be launching a winter map for our winter return season, and one of the goals we have here that we're working on is temperature management. And this is time permitting at the moment, but we're looking at introducing a temperature management system for the winter season, which will be pretty cool and add like a new dynamic that could be pretty interesting, I think. So that's one thing we're working on right now, is that. Rule number 17, Haas. Don't be a hero. For anyone who knows Zombieland, don't be a hero turns into be a hero. You like that? We went and did some research on the zombie verse, okay, in general, and I got this reference. I think this one's pretty good.
In.
Yeah,
you're locked in.
I don't know if you want to go through this slide, Haas, because this is like kind of your baby, the thing you wanted to push.
Yeah. This is something that obviously all the concerns. Actually, before I talk about that, talk about temperature management. Imagine being in a frozen area and you need to build a campfire. You know what I mean? Like for us on that side, imagine being in up north where it's hot, clothing, things like that. So temperature management is really going to have a fun effect on roleplay. So moving on to this, don't be a hero, be the hero of your story. Your choice matters. Multiple specializations, professions to encourage player action to enable roleplay path. Okay. So as you guys know, early in season 1 of World's End, we had a lot of people that wanted to be doctors, medics, first aid. There was people that were specifically scavengers, finding loot, digging in trash cans, looting zombies, and making their own market around scavenging. And then we had the people that literally want to do the higher tier raids, boss fights, etc. Engineer and survivalist. So the whole idea behind this is we want you guys to choose and build out what path your character is going to go down. So to elaborate on this, let's start off with a medic, right? We had a lot of people wanting to play doctors. I can go back, talk about Zona and amazing other role play around that. But imagine if you decide to build out a medic, you're the ones that are going to be crafting revive syringes, higher tier first aids, serums to reduce certain things. I don't want to elaborate much more, but if you want to be a doctor, you could literally select that through a skill tree and build out how you want to play your doctor. Now, when you select the role, not everybody is going to be able to do what the medic is, right? So if I pick scavenger, I'm not going to be able to make the better first aids. I'm not going to be better to make the revive stuff and blah, 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 blah. but each one is individually on their own. So rather than having staff or admins provide certain doctors with certain items, you would have to basically learn how to become a medic. And the better medic you become, the more things you can do. Now, we kind of took that style and rolled it across every other profession, like a scavenger. Um, Once again, this is the type of guy that finds the higher tier stuff. This is the guy that has access to certain things, or maybe better with a lockpick and certain thing. You can see how it kind of all rolled out. And I don't know how deep I should go into this, Rav, but uh, I really can start spilling the beans a little
Let's
bit.
let's see if they're good by the time we get to the question period.
Yeah. But you guys can see um, that each tree that you select, or each specialty you select, that is what your character is going to be specialized in. Now, the whole idea behind this is when you guys do anything, you might need the help with that other specialization or profession. So it's going to create a community around this. It's going to create a market around this. It's going to increase supply on trade goods because each profession will have a specialization in trade goods. And it's going to be its own kind of ecosystem with economy and raids and interactions and how you build a group. So we'll save the rest for the questions if there's any, but you're going to be able to choose your own path.
Rule number 32, enjoy the little things. So there's going to be dynamic loot across the map this time. This is something we've been putting some development time in. This will be new. Not just on zombies, basically. So you just don't have to loot zombies for loot. There actually be the ability to get some loot out in the world, rare spawn areas, that type of thing will all be a thing. There is a focus on loot distribution to all player types and not just in specific zones. This is something Haas talked about as a pain point for the original version, which was basically it felt people didn't like to had to be forced into PvP areas to just, medics to get just basic medical supplies. And also we've introduced some satisfying loot mechanics. So loot like slowly reveals, not, kind of like Arc Raiders and those types of games for any inventories that are new to you, right? So like for if you PvP someone and you're trying to get into their inventory, so there's like very satisfying loot mechanics that are pretty cool.
Yeah. And one example on, once again, distribution to loot. And I'm going to say this once again, I'm going to say car parts, and everybody in Discord's going to freak out. The example was obviously the concern was, and we saw the tickets, car parts. How it was you would have to go on and get into conflict to get that high tier loot. We're working on a strategy, and we've already worked on a few different strategies to how to roll this out. So if your character is not a PvP character and that's not your character style, you still have an opportunity to do certain things to get access to those and other items as well.
Rule number 1, cardio. So you're gonna need to get your steps in. You're gonna need it because we have multiple new zombie types, including a bunch with like varying speeds. So you just can't predict every time what a zombie is gonna do and kite it and easily get away. We've improved. There's some improved zombie logic and more dynamic spawns, and there's new boss zombies. So a lot of really cool stuff here. I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit on that, Haas or Wolf. Wolf is who we've put as the lead developer, by the way, guys. Wolf comes from the Mr. What do you call him? What a Mr. Beast thing? What do you call
Mr.
that?
Beast Gaming.
Mr. Beast Gaming.
Mr.
Yeah,
Beast. I think I've heard of that guy. I think.
yeah, they have heard of him too.
All
Wolf's
right.
worked with us for a while, but yeah, Wolf comes from there. Mr. Based, someone says.
Yeah, Mr.
Beast.
Beast. Dude, that's so.
Yeah,
Yeah, do you
that
want to
guy.
elaborate a little bit on that, Wolf?
He comes particularly around Thanksgiving, Mr. Based.
Oh my gosh. All right, yeah, so zombies. Essentially a lot of the work that I was doing with Mr. Beast Gaming stuff is working a lot with gameplay and fun mechanics, like, I don't know, making projectiles, wink wink, maybe making fire happen in certain different ways. These zombies are gonna feel like a whole different breed, essentially. It's gonna feel way different. It's gonna feel a lot more dynamic. You're gonna need to fight them in different ways and stuff like that, so be prepared.
The other thing too is we're also working on getting a lot of World's End specific zombie ped models made that you haven't seen anywhere else. So that's another exciting piece because you guys seen a lot of zombies, I'm sure elsewhere. We're getting our very own specific zombies built out. So you'll see some familiar faces and you'll see some new monstrosities running around.
Rule number 29, the buddy system. We have like new backend group systems for Prodigy that come from Prodigy. We have new base building mechanics with power generation, electricity, more stuff there. So just more depth to the base building. Tool cabinets, a lot easier ways to kind of manage your base repair and quality, that type of thing. So very interesting mechanics here for grouping and for players to kind of play together and have a shared goal. You want to take this a little bit, guys?
Yeah. So, for example, one issue that we struggled on early in World's End 1.0 was the cost and economy based around managing and repairing bases. And for a lot of you guys, you may not know this, but the base repair and cost was dependent on the scale and size of your base. And one thing that we always struggled with is when people would start a crew of 10 people and they would build this ginormous, massive base. Well, as you can imagine, that upkeep on a base that was intended to house 10 people gets a lot tougher when only half your crew comes around or half your crew does something else. So we're going to make sure that we try to find a way to balance the cost of servicing and repair based on obviously the size of the base, but also in role play, it's important to scale the base depending on the size of your crew to help manage the cost of the repair. There should be no reason one person is living in a 10-story mansion in the middle of Mount Chiliad expecting him to upkeep it by himself. So with the tool cabinet, you'll be able to literally go harvest your items for the day, put in the tool cabinet, and it will repair your base until those resources do run out. The new base mechanics with the power generation and electricity, generators, wire, lights, fuel, diesel, you eventually might be able to generate some power in the base if you can find the right resources. Just be excited on one, be excited on how it's going to work out because it's an amazing system. I already took it out. But two, get ready for the balance because you got to scale it at which rate the group can manage it. And then, by the way, Rav, most of our tickets came through. Oh my God, I have a giant base. I'm the only one maintaining it. Well, of course, right? So hopefully this eliminates those tickets of people saying they can't afford to maintain their base. That's your fault and let it destroy. And that's essentially it.
We're going to be implementing various game scenarios. There's a bunch of stuff we have from Prodigy that we can implement to help that would lend itself very well to like post-apocalyptic environment, which we'll be looking at and how to do that. So in a way that kind of respects the World's End and the RP centric atmosphere, things that require a team more than in the open world, more so than in the closed world. Food and cooking. This is one you were excited about, Haas. So how about you take this one?
Oh man. All right. This is something that I've been the most thrilled about, and knowing that this is all possible through the Prodigy system, we're bringing it over to our server. The food system is going to be much more in depth, and not everybody is going to be able to make these delicious snacks. Food is crafted by what you find. Now, there was a lot of people talking about, my character doesn't eat meat. Well, maybe there's a vegan option. There's meat options. There's foods that will be able to buff and benefit the player. It's almost going to be like a system where if people wanted to open restaurants, if people wanted to be that person that crafts and harvests and finds food and creates these recipes to distribute out to other players, you'll be able to create quite a few recipes through this new system that we're rolling out. So this is what got me excited because I knew that was one of the biggest complaints. And if you can think about how that also reflects through the server is how do you harvest these items? How do you get these meats? How do you get these foods? So just that gameplay alone is going to give somebody that just wants to cook food a huge player experience. So food is going to be a massive thing. And for a lot of people that just wanted to be a chef, be a cook, and benefit other players without, necessarily having to leave their safe zone, depending on their play style, it's absolutely doable now. And this is what I'm excited for. Is we're finally tailoring each class to every specific player's play style. And that's one thing that we wanted to reiterate is you could choose your path and play the game that the way you want it to be played and not be forced in a situation that your character typically wouldn't want to do in role play. And food and cooking, as simple as it sounds, is one of those options.
I can't wait to see Chef Boyardee roleplay.
Dude, just can of SpaghettiOs.
All right, medics. You talked a little bit about this earlier.
Oh, okay. Medics. Yeah, another important role to the server. Do revives in the wild with craftable items. Create antidotes. What can that be? Higher quality first aid and bandages. So the idea behind this is the medics in this case are going to be what they wanted to be in 1.0. They wanted to create syringes. They wanted to do research on, DNA they find on zombies to create certain things. We're building out basically everything that was discussed, or most of the things that discussed will roll out over time on what a medic or a doctor wanted to be in 1.0. So here's the thing is you may pick a medic role, or excuse me, you may pick like a combat role. You're not going to have the abilities of creating these higher tier, higher quality bandages because your character did not learn or do the training to be that. So it's going to be very specific where medics and doctors are going to be the ones that somebody's going to have to find in certain situations, either for medication, revives, things like that. So I'm really excited about medics because it was probably one of the most popular professions that people were role playing. And we're finally able to give you guys an opportunity to play that role. And between food and medics, that's what's really, honestly, that's what I'm geeking out about the most because I know how desirable it was, the med role play. And we're finally hopefully able to bring it to you guys.
Let's talk about the military.
All right, so some of you guys love the military. A lot of you guys hate Discord. I could see you guys going crazy. Yes, military, yes. And do you know what? They're more angry than ever. They're more pissed than ever. And all of you guys are going to go back. All right, I'm just going to say that right now. All of you guys, all of you survivors, all you infected are going back and being put in isolation because you're all infected. In this season,
can we talk about something, by the way?
Yeah, go ahead.
On that last slide, why did it say antidotes with eyes?
Well, they might, Rav.
Antidote for what?
Just
and arrest the infected.
You can't trust. Yeah, you just got to be careful out there because Rav, I'd hate for you to be, ran into by a zombie and then you might have to be put in isolation or something.
Oh,
so just keep an eye out. The military is going to keep an eye out for you guys that look a little infected. But the exciting thing with the military is there's laws that have been curated by the military that they're going to be slowly enforcing. Because as you know, as survivors want chaos, survivors want their own apocalyptic world. They want to be left alone. The military is going to be reinstating law and order. They're finally going to put their foot down and try to get the state back to what it once was before the apocalypse happened. We'll have rules and guidelines built out on arrests and how we're going to detain you. And we've talked about a few different ways. If you guys remember back in 1.0, the military was going to be potentially putting on ankle monitors to players to where, maybe the military will kind of see where you're running around if you decide to break a law, and they'll keep a good track on you. As they're regaining structure, the way we're going to kind of manage everything is through an MDT system where the military can actually document players that are quote unquote breaking the military's rules. So pictures, reports, logging of players. If we catch, multiple people repeating the same crime, higher consequences. So now we have a system that we can actually manage how we handle you sick criminals, you sick survivors. Now this is the exciting part because next to medics and food, we will be taking applications for military. So I know there's a lot of players out there that were interested in wanting to play military, Now with the Prodigy system, with Rav, Wolf, and the entire team, we finally have the infrastructure to onboard people to be military. So as you can imagine, there'll be training to be a part of the military. There'll be onboarding. There'll be an academy, and that will eventually start rolling out later on. But the military RP is going to be amazing. The conflict between survivors and military is going to be more exciting than ever. And we're more than pumped and having you guys actually apply to be a part of it. So it's going to be a big moment knowing that military is going to have a stronger force.
All right. Rule number 7, travel light. For the first season of The World's End, our focus is about improving the base formula that made The World's End successful. It's not about trying a bunch of crazy shit to try to like revolutionize zombie stuff. What we wanted to do was get the community up and going and to have at least the functionality of what The World's End had originally, plus a little bit more with all the UI and UX improvements that the Prodigy framework brings. That's the goal for the first season. And I think it's important for us to do that, to make sure that we don't Frankenstein The World's End into something that it's not. So this is a big thing I wanted to make sure that we stated, and that's important. For our plans for the future, we want to make sure that we bring back what people love, like I just said, and we want to in the future do a lot of things with the map. We want to make sure that we do a lot more development and experimentation in terms of things we can do with zombies and different scenarios that we can place in the world to enable roleplay. We want to look at frequent themed seasons as we see RP taper out on one, because that's just the nature of this genre for people who have played this type of thing before, is like when one season ends, the next one begins, right? And that's kind of how it needs to go if you play like DayZ RP or even like Ark, when you do like some post-apocalyptic stuff in there. These seasons tend to like reach a shelf life of like a 2 to 4 months, depending on like how good it is, right? And so we're prepared for that and have that in our plans for how we want to look at things. Is like, let's look at, improving things, new seasons, stuff like that, right? So we're not going to force anything with the closure of a season. Me and Hollis talked a lot about it, and we think, we're going to watch the role play. As we see the role play taper out and people get a little bored, then we're going to look at launching the new season while working on the development of that next season as the current one is ongoing. That's the big plan. Improved grouping mechanics, base building, society management, and better group management are like a big focus for us as well that we want to see. So, that's kind of the idea for stuff for the future. And of course, we open to player feedback. There's a lot of things we want to do, but we don't want to spoil it all now. But I'm really interested. I think the server is mostly going to take off through us being quick and enabling people's role play on the server, giving them things that enable a cult or maybe people that are breeding a virus or doing a number of different things, and we can do that because Prodigy, what comes with that framework is our event system, as well as a number of other things to help enable those things very rapidly. So cool. Anything to add on that, Haas?
Just the new map, new maps, new safe zones, everything is being looked at. This is the beautiful thing about having such a large team, is things can move fast. Obviously, we want to give you guys a whole new player experience. I know you guys are asking a lot of questions about the what is it going to look like. And, one thing that we talked about early on in season 1 is, as the season goes on, potentially adding more decay to the map, make it feel more alive. It will feel fresh and new. Let's just say that a lot of this will still feel fresh and new. The other thing I'm going to say, Ravage, is as we roll this out, your guys' feedback is always appreciated. This is a big jump from where we came from season 1 to season 2, from the economy, from how things are being rolled out. And obviously in season 1, we really leaned on you guys for feedback, ideas and strategies. And through this next season, even though we're not starting fresh, obviously having you guys involved, and this is what made the World's End so personable, is that you guys were involved in a lot of the direction and the feeling of what type of life the server gave. So as we're going through this, once again, I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect right out the rip, but we are able to move a lot faster than what we've done in the past. And we're just going to make sure we can give you guys the best gameplay and roleplay that we can while rolling out all these exciting new changes.
All right. So people asked about a public server. We plan to open both a standalone whitelist and public server. I think this is very doable and will be good. I think this is good because there's people that don't want to play in creator environments. And I think that honestly, this is good. This is a good thing because
Great,
it gives, it gives accessibility to people who want to play, but not in that same environment, or who want to, like, this is really interesting to them, but it's like they're intimidated by coming into like a more structured roleplay space in an allow-less environment. And overall, it allows us to be able to fund our development team and continue to keep the World's End around instead of for a season or 6 months, to keep it around for good. So.
And on the public server too, Ravage, the other thing that we were discussing too is, we're really going to use this to look at role play and see who's able to move over to whitelist. So both servers are going to be obviously working together and looking at bringing the stronghold players that eventually want to move up to whitelist. This is kind of another test bed for people, the opportunity to stretch their RP legs out a little bit while having staff kind of watch them and preparing them. If they did want to move over to whitelist, there's opportunities for do that. So it's a really fun way, because originally we never had this. We kind of went through the application process and things like, but the fun way of doing this is obviously rewarding people who are doing amazing role play in public to come experience the World's End with literally the most talented role players.
Applications are open now. They're on this website. The World's End website will route here. It just takes like 48 hours for this to really take place, but there's a QR code there. You can fill out free applications now. We will have priority applications like the World's End had before. Those will be out probably later this evening, where we'll put like a thing I want to, people to understand too, because the way Quebec's kind of does things, we can't like outright sell applications, but we can sell like a supporter role that allows you to apply on the website, which is what we're going to do. So you can go and you can purchase those now. The only thing I would like to caution is like those don't have queue priority or anything like that right now attached to them, right? Because the server's not open yet. So only buy those if you want to support. There's a permanent role that you can get that comes with permanent priority once the server opens, like plus 15, called the Wasteland Founder, and we have different Discord roles and stuff like that. Do those to support the server right now, because the server, we don't have a release date for you on this right here. So I don't want people to have a different expectation than what's there, and I don't want to lie to people. So it's there just to support and pre-buy into development. People are asking in the audience about Prodigy RP whitelist. Like I said in the earlier slide, that this has to be treated as a separate business and server, which we're doing. And the whitelisting and all of that has to be in the control of the staff of the World's End, which it will be. And that means that like we can't go and just whitelist everyone from Prodigy on here. They have to have their own standard, etc., that happens on the World's End, which is how it has to be. And I think that makes a lot of sense because it's a different type of role play here, and they have different gauges for who they want to whitelist or not whitelist. And I think that's completely fair and to be expected, because it is a much more structured RP environment, I would say, right, Haas, than Prodigy. Prodigy is much more loose, I'd say, than.
Yeah, it's just we want to make sure that we're bringing on people that understand the style of role play and the environment that we're getting to. And it's not the traditional cops and robbers, as you guys all know, for everybody that's been around for a long time. So we want to make sure that the community that we're bringing over to the World's End meshes with the World's End, because I think that's the part of the lifeline, as we talked about multiple times, is just the role play style and the depth of the role play that it provides. So that's why we're not going to mesh the two. It's a separate entity, and it's very special that we make sure we continue bringing on people that want to be in this specific environment. So yeah, I think we're going to try to keep it alive, with just keep it in our own.
Yep. And for those asking about how they get their whitelist, so what you need to do for people who are already whitelisted is you need to first log into the Prodigy website with your Steam. Make sure it's the same Steam and Discord you linked that are in this Discord here. And then I would make a ticket on the website on the World's End, not on something else, right? On the World's End. And there, ask for your role with proof that, make sure your Discord's attached, and then we'll look at getting you the proper allow list permissions on the website. That'll give you permission to join. Staff hires. We need to really build out a solid staff team. So go fill out an application. Those are on the website as well. We could use an experienced pro RP staff lead to help Haas out here, because he's very much in the creative vision. So if you fit that mold, please let us know. A lot of people on Prodigy that have done a lot of good staff work have made a little bit of money at the end of the day as well. So if you come in and you prove yourself to work and the server's doing well, there's a lot of people that have gotten paid for their work and the stuff they've done for the community. So the same is possible here if everything goes well. Anything
one thing on staff hires, Rav. Yeah, one thing on this is as much as I found out that Rav loves Discord tickets, which we probably had about 100 of them, which fired off everybody's OCD. If you guys did fill out an application through the Discord, we did review it. But if you wouldn't mind, please filling out another one through the website, it would definitely help the team that is now managing staff, including myself, to put it into one area. So if you put one in through the Discord, I please ask you to re-navigate it to the website and put that ticket in if you're interested in staff. The Discord was a handful, and that's one thing that Rav and the team already fixed. So for you guys asking, we'll put the links in Discord if you guys are wanting to do that.
I haven't enabled the application yet, guys, so you'll see it in a little bit. Sorry. I know it says now, but I just didn't get to enable it in time before the meeting. I'll do it in a little bit. Okay. Launch. We're aiming for 2025. And as many of you know, there's not much time left in 2025. So I would read into that with what you may. We have a launch date in mind, but we just want to make sure that we leave it a little open-ended for now, just in case we come into anything that may break us. And need us to, we'd rather hold the launch date and not delay it than announce it and delay it. I have an idea of when we're going to launch, and you guys can probably put it together, that we're not going to launch. We don't really want to launch on Christmas, and we don't want to launch on New Year's. So put together what you may from that. But we are looking at a 2025 launch. And I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is going to be really cool. I think if people are looking for something a little bit different right now, to just role play and just escape in a different world. And I think this could be cool. So
yeah,
that's where we're at.
Yeah, this is it. It's amazing. And to see all these slides come to life, see the community get back together in the Discord and the Twitch chat. It's very surreal. This is awesome. For you guys that know me, I literally have kept the World's End server going just because I knew one day it would come back to life. And after about a year and a half, we made it happen. So we weren't going to give up on you guys. Wasn't going to stop. I'm persistent as hell. I don't have a give up soul in my body. And I've always felt that with Loaded and Rav, we can finally get what you guys deserve for waiting so long.
And it is playable at the moment. I want to throw that out there. It is playable. Like, you can go around the world and you can loot things and loot people, loot zombies. Zombies chase you. It is playable. It is very playable right now. Everything works. Yeah. So I just want to point that out there too. Like, it's not like we've got weeks of work to like make it playable. It's playable. We just want to make sure the content is there and well thought out. So on Prio, I think we're in between granting Prio for public versus if we do it for allow list. I'm not sure. We haven't made like a determination on that at the moment. We may or we may not. I think we've talked about it, and we've talked about maybe not doing it on allow list. So that has been a thought that we've had. So, all right. Rule number 31, check the back seat for questions. Honestly, I had to try really hard to get one for this. I think this one was pretty creative, to be honest. And basically what I'm saying here is that now taking questions from the audience. So if you have a question in the Discord, I cannot take them from Twitch chat. Please put them in the Discord and make sure you tag me and Haas in with the full question right now, please. I mean, I can invite him to speak. I don't know what I can tell you if you're gonna ask me about confidential business information, but
well, I'll ask it and then you can see if you can answer. So, with the partnership between Prodigy and the World's End, if something works on the World's End or works on Prodigy, would you guys be implementing it vice versa for the sake of roleplay, or would it stay specific to that server?
it depends what it is, but we can pretty much bring anything over. It's more determination if we want to make something that was made for one server or the other. But yes, we could potentially take a feature that works on one server and bring it to the other.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Both servers will open at the same time. Fluorstep, the allow list, and the public. Can I have my Cheberick back? No. Who are you? Who's that? They want a Cheberick.
You know what? Skip. Robbie, skip.
Hello, Austin. What's your question?
Hi, yes. Just curious what kind of alternative vehicles, besides the bicycles, motorcycles, and cars from Season 1, can we expect in this new updated version?
Should I roll this out, Rav? Should I kind of give him a little taste?
I got my hands on some things. Let's put it that way. I got my hands on some other stuff. Whether or not it makes it, I don't think we've decided yet.
I'm going to say this. All right. I think we're going to make the progression from bikes to cars a little bit more rolled out. I don't think it's going to happen nearly as quick. And I think there's something in between bicycles, bikes, and cars that we were missing in Season 1 that might be the step from bikes to cars. I'm not going to say what that is. I want to leave that up to you guys to interpret. But there's going to be another step that we're going to be rolling out. So there'll be a diverse group of motorcycles and cars, but there's something else that we missed in Season 1 that I think could be way fun. I know that doesn't answer your question, Austin, but
Well, you know, it's I just figured if there's what kind of that dealing with the whole map rather than just being on land, that there is the sea and the sky, and what dangers those can provide.
let's just say both of those have been looked at. And I'll be honest, there'd be nothing more fun than make a makeshift helicopter in your backyard.
Ooh, or paraglider.
But I don't know.
With like,
I don't know.
all right,
I don't know.
all right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Slap some
Appreciate
wings
you,
on that
Austin.
Chibrook.
Oh.
Take it easy.
I appreciate you, dude.
Derek, come on up.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, Derek?
Nothing much. I was just wondering, with all of the improvements, the new scripts, the framework, will there be much for the people out there who are looking to ERP?
Great question.
This is not an ERP server, my friend. You got your chains and rope. That's done with. It may take a long time, but that's all you're getting.
That's it. That's what am I doing here then?
Do you know what, Derek? That's a good question. You know, we rolled in trains and ropes.
Yeah, the
specifically
next
for you.
question. Hey.
Hey guys. Question. Do you have any plans right now for in-game events, maybe, pre-scheduled or on a weekly basis?
So Cyberstag, first of all, if you guys don't know, Cyberstag is one of the OGs of World's End. He was a big member of the team. You know what, Stag? We are going to bring back a troll that asked riddles for people to solve at front gates to enter front gates.
Oh shit! Who could that possibly be?
Oh man, can you imagine?
That'd be awesome.
We've looked at ideas, Stag, on server events, and man, this is so tough to answer because I know what's out there, But let's just say there might be community events that may pop up once a week, twice a week, that would require players to work together to complete this. Let's just call it a world event. And that's just one of the many things. So there's a lot of things that we have to work, but I'm hoping with the more staff that we bring on, we can get a lot of creative juices going. But between Wolf, myself, and the other team, we have a handful of things that we're looking at.
Fair enough.
Thanks, dude.
All right, Phantom.
Hi, I have two questions. One, I know previously we used to be able to break into houses. Is that still going to be a thing in what's going on?
So what I can tell you, it's on our development roadmap, and I think it's on the list to be ported over. Right, Wolf, or has it been
Yes.
ported?
Yes, it is planned to be ported over. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So there you go.
And the second one is, I know some of us who do want to be medics. Is there going to be a clothing option for scrubs for us who actually want to get more into that immersive RP of being the medic?
Yeah, we have scrubs from Prodigy, so you'll be able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Awesome, fam. Thank you so much.
This
Yeah, I'm
one.
going to say this, Rav. I'm going to say this real quick before you bring another one up. Is once again, guys, working with Loaded and Prodigy, they have 3D modelers, clothing designers, creative custom script writers. A lot of the suggestions that can be implemented or filled in through the ticket system, it could actually happen. Like, I don't think you guys realize this. The things that we struggled with back in the day can now actually happen. So when you guys have requests and things like that, once again, we have a ticketing system for that. But as Phantom asked, when we get certain clothes, we have a team potentially now. When I mean potentially, we actually have a team now that can help facilitate these things. So that's another part of it. So we appreciate that. Sorry, Rev.
No problem. All right, next question.
Hello. Okay, I know in the original, we started out with when you died, you dropped the bag, and then you'd have to go and get it back, and then they took that away, and then you'd lose stuff if you died and respawned, but you didn't have to respawn. You could just lay there until someone came and found you. Is that going to continue that way? Are you going to lose everything and be forced to respawn?
That mechanic will remain the same.
Okay, so you're not going to be forced to respawn. You can just lay there until someone comes along and picks you up.
Correct. And ideally, in this case, you would want to have a medic on your team in order to pick you back up.
Correct. And the only other question is the billboard still going to be in the safe zone? I love the billboard.
Yeah, it's ported over.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, all the features that you guys know and love, and I knew the whiteboard system, it was revisited, right, Wolf?
Yeah, I did that, and we're gonna try to even come up with a new design for it to make it look even better and fit the world as well. Yeah, it's done. It's ready to go. It's
Perfect. Okay. Will my wrongful Prodigy ban that they told me I can't appeal affect my chances of playing here? Well, it might not have, but now you put yourself on my radar. So now I'm going to look up your ban, and I've just copied your ID. And if it's a bad one, we're about to find out how wrongful it is, buddy. But if it is wrongful, I guess I'll look into it. But that's on top 10 the most stupid things you could say to me is what you just did, to be honest. Because, yeah, I mean, that is what it is, man. Good luck.
Dude,
May the odds be in your favor.
One of the best things about this partnership is like Ravage. What I've been learning from Ravage, dude, is he can just swing it, and I'm more of a passive guy. And having Ravage around is like, damn, dude, just a straight savage. And I need to implement more of that savagery.
Yeah, listen, if someone's wrongfully banned, I'm always willing to look at it. But to say something like that in a community meeting like that, I'm going to be honest with you, chances are your ban's probably very warranted. Actually, Richard.
Hey, what's going on? This was more or less the SAP application. I wasn't really aware or at my headset. If we filled one out on the Prodigy's like website, whenever after the tickets were said, oh,
If
hey,
it was
go
labeled
here,
The World's End,
does it
you're
get
good.
transferred?
If it was
Okay.
labeled the World's End, you're good. If not, no.
Okay.
They're separate.
All right. Should be good then.
All right.
All right. That was all. Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, next person.
Oh, wasn't expecting this. Is there gonna be like supply drops or certain, convoys that survivors will have to deal with to get materials, say, against the military? Now that that's gonna be like a strong logistical thing that they might have to do.
I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
That's all.
This-
I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah. Well, if you guys remember 1.0, we did do automated military drops. Can we say that some sort of drop may or may not happen?
We will
man.
not. We're not going feature backward. Let's make that
Yeah.
be the answer. We're going feature ahead, not backwards. So we're going to meet and exceed the features of what was on the World's End. Sorry.
Cool, thanks.
Sorry, Haas.
All good. Yeah,
I don't want to make commitments I don't
just
necessarily
just
know
wanna-
the answer to. I just know that we're going to reverse engineer everything. Right?
Yep,
So
yep.
I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah, dude, I need that backup, dude, because I'm ready to just like, I'm so excited. I'm ready to just spill the beans on everything, but I'm not. I'm not. We waited too long for this.
Okay, I invited Vincent up, but I don't think he's seen it.
Oh my god, I had no idea what that was. Okay, hey,
What's up,
this is
Vincent?
exciting, by the way, guys. Very
Hey, I
fun
love it.
stuff. Talking about the timeline stuff with those who played before. Any plans on like, is it like a new timeline for the lore, or were you good to sort of carry on the character progression we had with all the other people on the server
I'll
before?
probably give him a story, right, Haas, of like the time lapse.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were kind of discussing that on how we want to handle the time lapse. I think once again, what I'm saying now is not going to be 100% set in stone, but I'm just speaking on a whim here. I think it's important for people that have had relationships, and we've done this before, where it's you still remember the relationship, you still remember the people, but it's not jumping back into having the original same gang, same gang that you created with the massive factories and buildings that you made. It's like it's a little foggy. You remembered a few people. Let's start surviving. And I don't want it to jump in where 30 people get together and start taking over hordes of cities. Let's roll this out back in a fun way. Meet some new faces. Don't get stuck in your role play group. And that's one thing that the world's really focused on was getting out and meeting new people. I don't want you guys to be isolated in your group of 5, group of 6. The point of the World's End is for you to mingle and meet, collaborate, share. Of course, there's going to be conflict, but it's getting out and meeting new people that may be a contributor to your group or not. But you'll remember things. It'll be foggy, but don't, hesitate to meet new people.
I get one more before, because you skipped over someone who wanted a question. I saw it was a good one. Before we had these little starting zones before we sort of let everyone out into the world. Is that coming back? Because that was really fun, interacting with all these new people and having these RP interactions.
Wolf, that's a you question, Wolf.
So at the moment, I'm sort of wanting to dot people around the map and wake them up so they're kind of more of evenly distributed and you gotta kind of find each other. If it's more so of the case that you guys want to come up from a hub, I can certainly look at it. But at the moment, I kind of want to have just spawn locations that you sort of wake up, and then wherever you are, you fly back into, basically. So it's just a continuous story of needing to find one another, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Vincent.
So we'll be applying to get whitelist. We'll only get new players on the public server. What? No, you can apply to get a whitelist, or anyone can join the public server. In your opinion, will those who can't play 8+ hours a day every day get left in the dust in terms of progression? No, I think we're trying to make it so it's not super grindy, right? For the base level stuff. I think it's a lesson we just learned on Prodigy, and something I've been reiterating to this team a lot is to not make it super grindy. Is there an expanded character creator, or will it be fairly vanilla? No, it's an expanded character creator. Our character creator on Prodigy is pretty good, and you have that. So, let me see what else we have here. Can I play a mutated rat who lives in the sewers? Yeah, Haas does.
That's me for right now.
Real-
Yeah, I'm living it.
Is there ability or thought to be able to craft poison that can alter infected or infect players? I think all of that stuff is on the table in the creative process, to be honest. Like we talked about earlier, I think all of this stuff is very easily possible with the way our systems are set up, just to make this quick and easy. Can we roleplay as a zombie? Without giving... Okay, without selling the house, no, you can't go and spawn a zombie pet and roleplay a zombie, right, Haas?
Right. Right.
But technically, you can roleplay a zombie.
Man, I
technically, I don't think we should tell them, Haas, but technically, based on some things in this presentation, technically you can roleplay a zombie with the right set of circumstances.
yes. There, thank you. Said it. Yep, there it is. There it is. That's all you guys get. That's all you guys get.
Yeah. So that's pretty much there. Do we have any other questions? Only tickets. Well, I'll look at the tickets after. Just give us like, if you don't see the option for a ticket or the whitelist that you see, just give us a couple hours. Thank you.
Question is, how do you apply for military? Is going to be a ticket or done through in character? On Prodigy, you could do it in character by going up to a desk, right, Rav? Or you can do it online.
Yeah, I'd say yet to be determined. I think we need to think about how you want to implement that.
Yeah. Well, we'll look at that. So we'll when it's ready, it's going to roll out, and then yeah, we'll let the community know. But there's a few options on the plate.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, we've already said what the professions are going to be, Damien. Those were already in the presentation. Hold on. Let's let this nerd up here. Hello.
Hello.
What's up, Miss Bunny?
Hi, UP. I'm so excited. I'm sure everyone's excited. Oh, Igni, hi. I have a question. Will there be safe zones like before?
Yes.
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 Yes, there will.
Awesome.
Are we going to see a very colorful teal and pink automotive shop by you?
I
this
don't know
time?
about a motor shop. Maybe a bike shop.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No pastel customs?
I've always had pastel custom, so maybe.
Okay. Sounds good.
But thank you guys. I'm so excited, and all my friends are excited. We've been waiting for this. So
Oh my God,
welcome
excited to
back,
have you
Oz.
back. No, I'm so happy
Sweet.
that you're back. I'm so happy the community's back. Well, a lot of them hasn't gone away, but I'm just excited to see what the role play brings. And obviously, you being a veteran role player, it's awesome to have you back and your whole squad, because I know you guys bring a lot of fun moments to the server. So thank you for coming back, and we'll make it special for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank
We'll
you.
see ya. Take care, Benny.
Bye.
Okay. Will there be marketplaces? Yeah, we can bring the farmers market code over, which we've talked about as well. We're from Prodigy, to make it like fit into the safe zones, because we saw a lot of RP value there in terms of bringing those types of market stalls with people in them, manning them to the safe zones, because we thought that had a lot of RP value in this atmosphere. Will the workbenches still be in the world, or can we craft them for our bases now? Haas.
So, this is something that we're still developing, and I think one thing you guys need to understand from like a player side versus like a staff side, one thing that we really focused on is trying, as dumb as it sounds, we try to get people out of their bases. One thing that we noticed early on in 1.0 is once we started offering a lot of resources to players to put in bases, a lot of the community isolated themselves with the bases. So we want to make sure that we can still get people scattered throughout the map, giving themselves an opportunity to run into new players. So there's going to be a balance between what you can do inside your base versus what you can do outside your base. Because like I said, we don't want you guys to turn into a bunch of hermits that don't leave because you have everything in your base. There'll be some new things you get, and there's some things that you'll have to explore and find.
Hell yeah. I think we've been going now, Haas, for about an hour. And this is usually the best time, I think, to conclude these because, you know, you get people starting to fall off, etc.
Yep. Perfect.
So if you're good to wrap up, I'm good as well.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Well, here's some closing thoughts from me. I was a little rough getting into this one, guys, to be honest. It's been a little rough for me, but as I got into this and saw everyone's excitement, I do want to say, like, it's kind of infectious in a way. You've probably heard my mood pick up quite a bit. And it's really cool, honestly, to see so many people so excited to see this project come back. And I'm really, really happy to be a part of this and to be able to help Haas push his vision forward and to see this community come back to life. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I'm someone who really enjoys the medium of roleplay. I've done this for going on a decade now in different mediums, ARC, etc. And I love seeing this type of stuff when people are so excited about creating stories and new experiences. And for me, I just know the power that it can have, you know, in terms of people's creativity and the effects it can have on other people's lives, just not in this community, but outside, the people watching. And I'm really excited for what's to come, honestly. I was excited before, but coming out of this, I'm just absolutely thrilled to be a part of this in a small part. So really look forward to seeing you guys on the launch. And yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add, Haas, but thanks for doing this with us, dude.
Yeah, no, I'll make this short and sweet. Like I said earlier, this has been something that started off as just a dumb idea, and the dumb idea turned into literally one of the most creative, unique, fun communities that I've ever been a part of. And I've been around this roleplay scene for a little bit as a role player, but not as like a staff member or admin. So I'm usually the guy that's role playing with you guys. And I could say out of all the communities that I've been a part of, this is literally the most loyal, the most exciting, the most creative, the most fun. And for all of you guys that stuck around after seeing this and being a part of this, like I said, the reason why I never gave up on this project is I looked at all of you guys in Discord and I just told myself every day, and this may sound crazy, but I'm like, we're going to bring this back. We're going to give these people what they wanted, and we're going to take over the survival roleplay scene again. Like we did the first time, we're taking it back over again. And you guys are going to be big parts of this. Now, I also have to say, with the conversation that I had with Ravage when I flew out there to Texas to meet with him and Widow, they're giving this opportunity to bring it back. And this wouldn't be possible without them because I'm just gonna be honest. I spent all my money on keeping the server open for the last 2-3 years, even though it wasn't public. I kept the server paid for and up just because I knew one day it'd be worth it to keep spending money to have everything still exist rather than just disappear in the internet. Ravage gave us this opportunity to come back and said we can make it happen. And so we got to give all love to Loaded and Ravage, the Prodigy team, all the developers that you guys may not see that you'll see in Discord. You got to give it up to all of them because they're bringing this vision to life really fast. So not only thankful, I'm excited because this is going to be the best version of the World's End. Once again, with the best community, the best people, and let's just keep it alive. Even though we're undead, let's just still kind of keep it alive. But I just got to say thanks to all of you guys, and let's get it.
All right.
And Wolf, thank you, Wolf. By the way, Wolf's in here, the man of many words. Wolf, thank you and the entire team. You've been leading the development on this side. People have already seen you in Discord. Say something, please, Wolf. I know we're going on, but there it is. There it is. All right.
I'm just very grateful to have someone from Mr. Based here to Based for the holiday season. Honestly, that's what I'm just very grateful for that, you know? So, yeah.
Mr. Yeast. Cool.
Mr. Yeast, yeah. Okay. No, but for real though, he did work for Mr. Beast Gaming for all the those GTA
actually,
videos. He
legitimately.
literally did that. He was part of that team.
I have my contract. I got my insurance cards. I actually did.
Yeah, he did. He did. All right, guys, thanks so much. Excited to tell. Take care. Goodbye.